Welcome to the West Wing Week, your guide to everything that's happening at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. But first, a brief message from letsmove.gov, America's move to raise a healthier generation of kids.
Spring is here. Go outside and enjoy it. Learn about healthy eating and lifestyles at letsmove.gov.
This week, April 9th to the 15th, or the Interpreter's Lounge. On Friday morning, April 9th, the presidential motorcade departed for the Prague Castle. As you will recall from last week's installment of your West Wing Week, the president was in Prague to sign the New START treaty and meet with many of our regional allies.
I added a lot of gray hairs. I used to look much younger before.
After meeting with the Czechs, President Obama headed back to Washington, D.C. That afternoon, when the president returned, he made a statement about the mining tragedy in West Virginia.
I want to offer my deepest condolences to the friends and the families of the fathers and the husbands and brothers, nephews, and sons who were killed in this accident. I'm also in awe of the courage and selflessness shown by the rescue teams who've risked their lives over and over and over this week.
On Sunday, April 11th, President Obama, Secretary Clinton, and Chief of Staff Rahm Emanuel crossed Pennsylvania Avenue to the Blair House, where a series of bilateral meetings were held in the run-up to the Nuclear Security Summit.
But it's such a huge deal, and it has shaken Europe.
So far today, I've already met with the Prime Minister Singh of India, as well as the President of Kazakhstan. And now we're meeting with the President of South Africa. I'll be meeting with the Prime Minister of Pakistan after this meeting.
On Monday, April 12th, the president went to the site of the Nuclear Security Summit, where he held more bilateral meetings with Jordan, Malaysia, Ukraine, Armenia, and China. President Obama then greeted the leaders of 46 nations, the largest summit ever held in Washington, and gathered them all for a working dinner getting started on the important work at hand. On Tuesday, April 13th, the president reconvened this august group.
Good. You know, you've met John?
Yeah. We still like
It's my privilege to welcome you to Washington and to formally convene this historic summit.
The main focus was on nuclear proliferation and securing nuclear materials.
2 decades after the end of the Cold War, we face the cruel irony of history. The risk of a nuclear confrontation between nations has gone down, but the risk of nuclear attack has gone up.
Meanwhile, in the Caribbean, the First Lady and Dr. Biden made a surprise visit to Haiti to see the rebuilding efforts made since a massive earthquake struck Port-au-Prince and the surrounding areas, and to underscore the commitment of the United States to help rebuild the shattered nation. The First Lady went on to Mexico, where she made her first official solo international visit.
This is my first solo international trip. Mexico is really a natural first step for me. I mean, the relationships that our countries have with one another are deep and broad.
The president finished a long day of talking with a news conference ending the Nuclear Security Summit.
This evening I can report that we have seized this opportunity, and because of the steps we've taken as individual nations and as an international community, the American people will be safer and the world will be more secure.
The president squeezed in one last bilateral meeting with the Germans, just to make it a full 10 before leaving for the White House. On Wednesday, April 14th, the president spent a sunny day inside. He held a meeting with the vice president and members of Congress from both parties to talk about Wall Street reform.
I think all of us recognize that we cannot have a circumstance in which a meltdown in the financial sector once again puts the entire economy in peril.
And then he met with this year's winners of the White House News Photographers Association Eyes of History annual contest.
All right, group picture? Yes, sir. All right, let's see if they know how to arrange themselves properly. I do. Do you recommend that we say cheese?
On Thursday, April 15th, President Obama flew to Cape Canaveral, Florida, to take a look at a commercial rocket processing facility and visit the Kennedy Space Center.
I'm not an engineer, but I can tell.
kind of heat tiles for when the stage re-enters to survive the heat of re-entry.
He then outlined his vision for NASA, one that unlocks our ambitions and expands our frontiers in space, ultimately meeting the challenge of sending humans to Mars.
So this is the next chapter that we can write together here at NASA. We will partner with industry, we will invest in cutting-edge research and technology,
We will set far-reaching milestones and provide the resources to reach those milestones. And step by step, we will push the boundaries, not only of where we can go, but what we can do.
To find out more information on any of these topics, or to see complete videos of these events, go to whitehouse.gov, and thanks again for checking out your West Wing Week.
That's what they call West Wing Week.